Hello, this is Matt from XL Pro Tech, and we are live from Huddersfield in the UK. And today we're going to be taking apart this Acer, and it's a it's an Acer Aspire V5-122P, little sort of netbook thing. And the reason we're going to be taking it apart today is because the screen is smashed. So this is also a touch screen, so the digitizer we're going to have to replace as well. And the LCD underneath is actually duff, so yeah, we're going to be replacing the whole of this, basically the top of this laptop here. So we've got the spare part. What we're going to do first, we're going to take off this screen, and then we're going to test the new part, make sure that that works, and then we're going to do a bit of swapping around with a few different bits and bats. So, without further ado, let's get on with this. What we're going to need to do is open it up from the bottom, sorry. So what we're going to do, we're going to work our way around and get all of these screws out here. Just to confirm that we are live right now, so anything can happen. If everything goes a bit quiet, potentially there might be a customer in the shop, something like that, or something that I have to deal with. So as I say, we're just working our way around the bottom, getting rid of all these screws here, and then we'll crack it open. And trying to put the screws in a little bit of an order so that when we come back to it, we're putting the right screws in the right place. For instance, this screw that came out of the bottom corner there was a lot bigger than the other screws, so we need to be aware of that, because otherwise we're going to end up with screw hole damage. Potentially putting screws where if we're putting larger screws in where they don't need to go, we're going to potentially damage something on the board, or potentially just on the laptop itself. Just to confirm as well, I have never opened one of these up before. This is new for me. I'm not using any instructions at the minute, so it's just, we're just going to go however it goes. It's going to go like that. So there is a little rubber bung there. Let's just see what's underneath there. Okay, so potentially this looks like, with these screw holes here, potentially there's a docking station maybe for this, but there is another screw underneath this rubber bung right here. So let's take that out, put that to one side as well, take this screw out. And again, we'll put that screw down there. So sometimes with these laptops, there's not a whole lot of screws on the bottom. What I am going to do is just check underneath these rubber anti-vibration pads here, just to make sure that there's no screws underneath them. There's no screw underneath that one there. Sometimes what they like to do is put one under one, but it's always good to check. If you're following another instructional manual or iFixit guide, something like that, it would probably tell you, but as I say, I am doing this without guidance. Okay, so there's none underneath there. If you don't have a little razor blade or something like that, you could use a plectrum to get those little rubber bits up. Right, so let's try and crack this open. There's an SD card slot just on the side there. Let's get that in focus. Let's just take that out just in case. We don't want to be wrecking anything. That might be plugged into it. So again, just double check around that you haven't got anything plugged in, any USB devices, any SD cards, anything like that. And then we're going to try and excuse me, we're going to try and get this back plate off. So I'm just going to use a plectrum here. and go around gently. So as you can see, it's coming away quite easily, quite nicely. I'm going to change to this one here. And again, just in your final preparation, in the final stages, when you've taken all of your, when you think you're ready to crack this open, just ensure that you have taken all the screws out. Double check, because if not, you could potentially cause some damage to the plastics if you haven't taken all the screws out. So right, I think I'm there now. Just got a few more bits to crack open here, down this side. And I'm just going to make sure that there's nothing, that there's no cables or anything connected to this back piece. There wasn't. So let's pull that back piece out of the way for now. So, right, we are inside of it. So we've got quite a big battery there. 2 speakers, nice diddy little fan. You've got your RAM slot there, you can increase the RAM I think if needs be, and you've got a standard 2.5 inch hard drive there as well. And if in case you're wondering, your DC power jack is a separate entity, it is not connected directly to the motherboard, so you can in fact just replace that if there is a problem with your DC in jack. Cool. That's what we like to see. So internally for this device, it doesn't look as if there's been any water damage to it. It doesn't look as if it's been too dusty, to be honest. I'll probably give the fan a blowout at a later date. So right, let's get down to it. We need to replace the screen. So, and what we need to actually do is check that the replacement screen that we have purchased is all good. So right, that there. Let's zoom in and move this about a bit. So that there, just right next to your fan, above there, that is your LCD connector, right there. So there's a little bit of tape on the top of it, and what we need to do is just prise up that flap there and take this out. So you'll notice it is a sort of ribbon cable, so just be very careful when you are taking it out. Make sure you don't put too much pressure on that flap there. So the other thing that is also connected to the top of the to the screen is your Wi-Fi cable. So we are also going to need to get this off here. So just flick it up and there we go. It's sort of routed around the back. Let's zoom out again. Oh, I'm going to get used to this zooming. I swear. So yeah, you can see it's just sort of posted along there and it goes into your little hinge part there. So right, the next part of this is to the replacement screen that we do have has come with the hinges. So what we will do, I'll just zoom out. We will take away the screws that are holding the hinges in, and we'll literally just lift this old screen out and put the replacement one in. So there's a screw right there for this hinge, and there's a screw right there. So those are our left and right. That's our left hinge. Now then, there is a screw here this right hand side hinge as I'm looking at it, and there's a screw just there as well. Cool, so let me just take a look. Our top screen part should now be free of our bottom section. So what we're going to just need to do is lift that up slightly. So part of the bottom cover is stuck underneath the hinge, so you do need to get those covers up a bit, those hinges up a bit. So right, we are free of our cracked and broken screen. Again, let's put that to one side, and what, as I said before, what we're going to do now, we're going to put this replacement screen in that we've got. We're going to make sure that this is okay first before we do any alterations to it, because there are a few alterations, a few bits and bobs that I'm gonna need to do. Basically, the one that's been purchased here is not the best quality on the back. It's got a few scratches compared to the original, so I am going to be replacing the back section just to make sure that we've got that the customer gets something it looks very similar quality to what they brought in to me. Okay, so I've assembled it there. I'm going to screw them in just off screen. The reason being is that this is a fairly I need to balance it. So when you're putting the screws back in, the screws are going into the parts with the triangles next to them. The screw holes without the triangles next to them, don't put them in there. Those are where the screws go from through the bottom of the case. So look for the screw holes with the triangles pointing to them, and this is where the screws go internally. Okay, so right, my hinges are in. If you wanted to, what you could also, I mean, there's only 2 screws per hinge, so it's it'd be rude of me not to just put those in anyway and do it that way. And right, we're just going to connect up let's zoom in on that. We're just going to put in the LCD connector there. Again, normally these are quite fiddly, so put it in, make sure that it's all straight, make sure that the white line is lined up, and that when you put that cover down it is actually covering that white line. If you're going to have your okay, so yeah, we'd put that bit of tape down there. Right, and then what we're going to do, let's zoom out. Must be this way, yes. Let's zoom out. So we're going to just connect the Wi-Fi, and it literally just pops on there. And I don't need to specifically do it now, but what you would do is actually put that into put this cable in, make sure that it's following the plastics all the way around, so that we're not that's not getting in the way when we reassemble it. As I say, I'm only going to do it roughly for now, just to ensure that, because what I want to do is just double check that this screen works So I'm just going to turn this on, and I'm going to do this off screen because I'm going to do it off screen for now, because potentially this might show someone's customer's data to you, and I don't want to do that. So then, okay, I don't think we've got any charge on this one. Let's just go get the charger. From what the customer says, that they broke the screen and it's just been in. She just kept it on a shelf, I think, for a good few months. So no real surprise that there's no charge in it. Have I got a spare plug point there? Yes. Right. Here we go. Okay, so the screen looks okay. Now, is the touch working on it? Because this is also a digitizer as well. Yep. We appear to have good touch functionality as well. Great. So this is working. This screen is fine. So let me just show you what I'm going to do next. Oops. I might have powered that off a bit too soon. Never mind. So right, let's show you the back cover of this. So this is the new back cover. It's got a few scrapes and scratches on it, and the old one which they have is pretty immaculate, to be fair. So let's just put the laptop somewhere safe for now, and we're going to take the back cover off the old one and pop it hopefully onto the new one. So there are no obvious screw holes on this. Let's just zoom out a bit more. There are no obvious screw holes on this damaged one, so basically what this means is that it's literally just going to be plastics to kind of snap off. That one's a bit too big. Let's use a plectrum. So we're just going to work our way around, snapping the plastics off here. Now, normally with these sorts of screens, the back casing is what holds on the hinges. It's not usually the case that the front of the screen will. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So the back of the screen here holds the Wi-Fi cable, and it's also holding on onto the hinges as well. So what we are going to have to do, let's just take this front part off if we can. Just need to bend these hinges back a bit. Okay. So this is going to be a bit easier than what I thought, actually, because normally everything is is connected to the back one. Here, this one bit is screwed into it, so it looks like we can literally just snap the plastics off the other one and just change it over that way. Easy, simple. So let's get our other one. Again, let's put that to one side for now, the nicer back cover. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unscrew the hinges again. Let's put it so you can see it. In fact, before we do that, let's just take out the cables. Wi-Fi cable as well, because that is going to be changed over. And right, we are released from the bottom. So again, let's put the bottom of the laptop over there. Let's crack this front screen off, and using our plectrum. So again, just carefully make your way around. Since this is our working one, we don't want to cause any damage to it. So just nice and careful, popping it off all the way along. And we should be free. Okay, there we go. So that's our nasty back cover. Let's put that out of the way. And that is our nicer looking one. Let's just pop this back in here and just go around and snap in the plastics. Make sure that you're lined up before you do this, and you should just hear all those clicks as the plastic goes into place. So right, let's do that again. Let's connect this all up again. So again, as I say, this I'm probably going to do this slightly off screen, just because it's going to be a bit of a bouncing act. Okay, final 2 screws to go in. For these hinges, one just there where the triangle is. And the other just on this side again. Look for where the triangle is, which is right there. Make sure it's in nice and tight. Right, I'll just close the lid so then we can see what we're doing. Again, we're going to be connecting up the LCD connector. Make sure that white line is in, and the ribbon connector is all pushed all the way to the back. It should be covering the white line when you close that brown catch. Put your tape back down if it'll still stick, and then we're going to route our cable for the Wi-Fi as we zoom out. So you'll notice a few little bits there, a little few sections for the Wi-Fi cable to go, and then up through the board and just snap it down onto there. And that is our Wi-Fi cable in. And I'm just going to put this on loosely for now, and then what we'll do, oh, wrong way, is just open this up, make sure that we are okay and good. The picture's still coming up on the screen, the digitizer's still working, etc. Okay. Again, let's plug this back in, because this has no charge. Nope. Okay, just be careful when you're putting this bottom cover on, because there are audio jacks on this side that you need to get aligned properly before you can clip it all down. And again, there's the USB ports as well on the other side. Right. And again, I'll just turn it on, make sure that the screen is okay. Make sure that the digitizer section is working okay, the touch screen is okay and functioning correctly. Now sometimes with laptops like this, if you're purchasing the digitizer off eBay, something like that, you need to be really careful, because we've had digitizers before from people on various websites, and they've been an absolute nightmare. They just haven't worked properly. It's as if you're touching the screen in multiple places. So just be careful where you are sourcing things like this from. Definitely, I would say for Acer, I've had Acers before with a touchscreen replacement, third-party touchscreens, and they've been an absolute nightmare. They're just so, yeah, just be careful with your sources. And let's just log in. One thing I've just noticed now is that the battery light isn't coming on. Potentially, if this lady stored it for quite a long time, potentially the battery might be just fully dead. I'm going to have to leave this on charge, I think, over the weekend and make sure that the battery does still charge. Because at the minute, it looks totally dead. Great, okay, so I'm really happy with that. So yeah, the screen is all good. Touch screen is actually working. Job successfully done. So basically all we need to do now, apart from shut it down, is screw all the screws back in before this thing tries to update itself. If it's been shoved on a shelf for 6 months, there'll be some updates to do. So what I will do, because there aren't many screws in the bottom, I will screw it all back together now, and basically I can ring the customer. Well, I'll try and give it a good charge over the weekend, and then I'll call the customer, depending on how that charge goes, and just let her know that potentially there might be a battery issue. Sometimes if batteries have gone down below a certain level, it does take them quite a while just to get that initial enough charge to function correctly. If it's been totally dead over that time, it potentially we're not going to be able to power it, provide it with enough power to get back up to a working level. Right. Finally. Shut down. So, right, we'll basically get all your plastics, make sure that they're snapped in again, and then we're going to work our way around and lose my screwdriver so that I can't put it together again. Nope, flathead. That'll do. Right. Okay. So I got it the wrong way around. I didn't start off like that. So very important to make sure that you're orientated the right way, the original way. Otherwise, again, you're going to be putting the screws in the wrong hole. Even if you have organised them correctly, you're still going to be putting them in, but you're still going to be putting long screws in short holes and causing yourself problems, like I nearly did there. And our big screws are going right in the corner where the hinges are. to give the hinges a bit more stability. That goes in there. Big screw for the hinge, right in the corner. There, and those screws are all the same size, so it doesn't really matter. That one, this one here, and this one here. And we've got our bung, that just goes in there, and our SD slot thing there, and we're all done. No screws left over. Nothing broken. All complete, all good. Right, okay, thank you so much for watching. This has been Matt from XL Pro Tech. I'm probably going to have something else for you in a little bit. Samsung Edge S6. We'll set up another stream for that, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much for watching. If this was useful to you, please, there's a link in the description where you can donate. Anything is much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next stream. Bye bye.